Okay, so this video, let me come a little closer. Hold on. We gonna get into it. I'm comfortable on the couch. This video might be a little lengthy. Tell me how y'all like this lighting. I'm trying something new. I bought like a little sunset lighting, okay? And I know y'all always ask, so I'm gonna let y'all know in the background. I have some nature sounds going. This is a rainforest, something like that. It's really pretty too. It's like greenery, water coming down, vibes, okay? But this video is about finding your true happiness, okay? And as y'all come in, I want y'all to write down in the comments, are you happy? What do you feel happiness is? Like, what do y'all feel? Because I do want this to be more interactive, okay? But I really want to break down the narrative. So I'm really just going to start from my experience and what I've been going through lately and what I've been receiving from spirit. Let me make sure it's level. Okay. I feel like that's good right there. Y'all let me know. Okay. So, basically, I had a shrooms trip about not too long ago, whatever, and it kind of woke me up. It was like my shroom trips always, my shroom trips always are very influential in my life, but this specific trip, it was like spirit was just really just on me about trusting in my intuition and not having to go to my cards or not having to have a candle or things like that, and really just trusting in my intuition and trusting in my inner knowing. So then it comes down to the happiness thing, right? Because within spirituality, I know a lot of people join spirituality or pick up spirituality or become spiritualist or however you want to say it for finding true happiness. Thank you for your like. I appreciate it. So I jotted down some random things that was just coming up in my mind and that I wanted to share with you guys. But first and foremost, on this trip that I took, it was like spirit was just like you're bigger than this, and I'm just like, what? Like what is going on? Like it was just crazy. Like spirit was like that this is becoming a block. And what I mean by that is, well, what spirit meant by that was that just even how much like the tarot readings and not saying now this is a disclaimer, okay, because this is something that I've done, you know, so it's like I've been doing tarot readings, I've been doing these things, you know, and spirit was just like, you don't need that, okay, like, and not saying that it's bad, not saying that I don't respect it or whatever the case may be, but spirit is really calling like for us as a collective to tap back into ourselves, tap back into who we are. We came here to experience. We came here to, to create. And spirit wants us to gain that, okay? They want us to reconnect with ourselves. Also, too, the flower of life concept that we're all one was really hitting home for me. And it was just like, bro, we literally are all one. We're connected, you know? But that's another video another time. Let me get my water. But yeah, y'all, so I was just like pondering, and I'm just like, well, what y'all mean by that? Because, like, what? And spirit literally was like, I want you to move to Cali and don't ask nobody, don't question nobody, don't try to get clarity, don't second guess this, do this, okay? Like, just do it. So I'm like, okay, all year my spirit team has been building me up to really trust my intuition by having experiences where I've had to lose different relationships and lose out on a lot of opportunities that I thought were serving me, and I thought were, oh, this is what I wanted. You know, I thought this is where this was gonna change my life, or this was the goal that I set for myself, and it was like, oh yeah, once I get that goal, I was just like chasing, being very goal oriented. And Spirit was like, yeah, we're asking you to drop everything that you know, and to fully trust your spirit, and to fully trust your intuition, and to fully trust yourself ultimately, right? So I'm like, wow, like this is crazy, like. So I'm just like, I'm just receiving the messages through spirit, and that's another thing too. I do healing sessions with shrooms with people, and I will channel spirit. Sometimes I will not even remember what messages was given by spirit because it's just so much and it's not me. So I'm just listening, and I remember before I did the shrooms, I did a meditation to kind of just calm you, get you grounded, and spirit was just like, you didn't even need that. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't need that, and it's more so like, because I don't want this message to be missed neither. So just stay, and listen. If you're in this video, really listen and connect with the whole video so you can get the whole concept. Because I'm not shaming the tarot readings. I'm not shaming the crystals and things like that. It is a part of the journey, right? These things have brought me to where I am. But ultimately, these things are just, what? Tools. And we are the power. We are the, our tongue is on one, right? We are the energy. So Spirit was just stressing that to me, and it was just like, so I went out to Cali, not that I didn't plan anything. I literally just got up the next day. I never laid down really. I got up the next day and I just went with what Spirit told me. And it was just really beautiful to see Spirit really show up in my life and just like recognizing that I'm Spirit. We're creating our reality. Recognizing that when I say Spirit, what is that? Spirit is what? The universe. Consciousness. And really like to exactly. And then it's like people don't really like, it was really just sticking out to me of like, I don't feel like necessarily with myself, but as a spiritualist and as somebody who stands on the front line for the collective, it's a lot of times where I'm trying to grow a person and a person is just trying to manipulate the services just for that outcome, if y'all feel me. And I want to read your comment too out loud because I want everybody to be able to know, even when they come back. Let me see how I get to it. Okay, it says, Gerda says, it's true, sometimes we lose ourselves in the tool, forgetting who we are. And also too, like remembering divine timing, divine order. These are a lot of the things that we preach about. These are a lot of things that we, and preach, quote unquote. But we talk about, things happening for a reason and this, and that, and the third. But a lot of times when it comes to the magic and the things like that, we are the magic. We are the magic. And it's just like we can get lost into thinking that we need these tools to manifest, right? So Spirit was just hitting on me and I'm just like, damn, okay, so that's deep. So then I realized, so I'm back where I came back to my home in Georgia for the holidays. And when I came back here, I realized now, if you guys don't know, like when we look into like natal charts and things like that, you can look into the dynamics of a specific area. And every area holds different energies, right? If you didn't know that, you can look that up. Also, too, it's just all about looking into the energy of the environment. But even if you ever did shrooms, or you just really conscious being, or you just like, you can feel and sense things, or really intuitive, you know that the energy of the collective can be, you can feel it sometimes. Like you may not even know why you're feeling a sadness or why you're feeling a way, but it's collective energy. You know what I mean? When you go to big cities, you feel different energy than when you go to a country. And coming back, Spirit was just revealing to me so many different things. And number one, it was showing me that, okay, the program that I was buying into was not me. It was the program. I was kind of buying into the program of the collective a little bit, and kind of the collective energy that was in my area, because it was like literally the shift of energy was so different. It was just like, it was almost like I was exposing myself somehow. Like, what? And it really boiled down to like, I started to really notice the thoughts that I was having as I was away, in comparison to being back here. And Spirit was like really showing me, like, my first one. Can you leave the content of your mind behind? Can you leave the content of your mind behind? Essentially, if things are going ideal in our lives, we will be spirit led. Even as I spoke to my mom earlier today, with her being a Christian, they believe in the spirit man as well, right? And we were just dialoguing, and I was just saying how ideally people can be led by their spirit, and then the spirit leads the mind, and then that mind leads the body. But a lot of times when we run into people, we really run into people where their mind is leading their body. And the problem with your mind leading your body and you being detached from your spirit, a lot of things could be going on, okay? And first, number one, before I even start to go any further, it's like, realize that there are no wrongs or rights in this thing. Wrong and right is all a perception. What is a perception? Is how someone perceives something, how someone sees something, okay? How someone sees something. So always remember that, and keep that in your back of mind during this video, okay? This is just my perception. I'm not telling you that this is right. This is my perception, but I want you to. We're going to talk about critical thinking as well later, about bringing your mind to make things make sense as well, and using your mind for what is needed to be used for, and not overusing it, not letting it deter you. So the question I said was, can you leave the content of your mind behind? Now, some people, like, and I was talking to my dad today, he was just like, he just, to him, that's like idiot talking, like, like, not that he said I'm an idiot or anything like that, but I just know, like, from a realist point of view, can you leave the content of your mind behind? They're like, well, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to leave your mind behind? You need your mind. You know, people say, oh, they done lost their mind. That's like a saying, like, oh, you lost your mind. If you lose your mind, it's really a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I went to Cali and I just trusted spirit, and I was just provided for, and things just worked out, and it just was like, what? I had nothing really, no money to really go out there. I was just being led by spirit. And it just shows you that the only real limitation is your thoughts. Honestly. And two, this is not to be insensitive neither. Like, I want to keep saying that throughout this video, because emotions are real. Pain is real. Suffering is real. These things are real, okay? But we have to leave the contents of our mind behind to change our paradigms, to break free of paradigm blindness. Now, I will be breaking down like some of these concepts, but it's not about the concepts. It's not about understanding the concepts. It's not about making sense of this. I really want y'all to get this. We are a spirit. We are not our mind, okay? our mind, if you notice, like your thoughts, they probably come a mile a minute. If you notice that even when you say affirmations all the time, you may still not manifest the outcomes that you want because you're just saying it from your mind, right? So, what I want to challenge you, one of the things I want to challenge you to is to not associate yourself with your thoughts. Now, I'm being very transparent on this video, so bear with me and understand that too. Things are changing throughout my life. I'm evolving, and I want you guys to evolve with me. If you do decide to go elsewhere, that's fine, but I appreciate those that are choosing to take this step and breaking themselves free of their mind, okay? So, things that can limit you, and why I say don't associate yourself with your thoughts. Say you want to start a business, right? And your mind, first of all, not only do we have to break free from your mind, because that's really like the last battle. It's really about, first and foremost, breaking free from the voices. And you need to, that is one thing I feel like, I don't want to use the words you need to or things like that, but analyzing the people that are around you, the voices that are speaking to you on a day-to-day basis, including that inner voice, analyzing those voices is very important, okay? And not being offended by other people's perceptions and not taking it personally, because nothing is really personal. As in, if I say something, or if if I love on you, that's because I'm loving myself, so I'm able to give that love. If I'm being very hard and detrimental, and that's because I'm doing that to myself as well. So it starts with oneself, but it takes separation sometimes. It takes that prayer, it takes that fasting. But the question is, can you leave the content of your mind behind and not associate yourself with your thoughts? Example for me is what I do. I will have a lot of, like, if you're trying to start a business, when I try to start my business, a lot of things will be opposing, because all my life it was always a program of somebody telling me why I couldn't do what I wanted to do and giving me reasons on why it wasn't valid or why I wasn't qualified, or like, oh, you can't do that because of this. Oh, you can't. Most times people are just speaking from their knowledge, right? Most times people are just speaking from their knowledge. Now, that is not to say that you have to not be around anybody completely, but it's just realizing the separation. Looking at who's talking. Also doing that within oneself. When I find myself, when I observe my thoughts, I talk to them. I counteract them. If it's a thought that says, oh, why would you can't do that, I say, where does that come from? Why would I not be able to do that when this person and this person has done that, and we're all just, there's nothing really that's changing. We all bleed the same. Like, what is the difference? What is the difference? So don't engage with your thoughts sometimes. First, observe them. Just like if you were a warrior, and you were gonna go to battle or however, or if you just about to fight somebody, say for a more simple example. Most people, if it's something that's calculated, you will try to analyze the other person, like analyze the battle. Like, even if it's not naturally, you're gonna like analyze it, like put some type of assumption and come up with your calculations and your conclusions, right? What I'm asking you to do is to analyze your thoughts. As in, not analyze, but observe them first. Don't engage. Don't let it emotionally trigger you. And I know some of you guys will be like, well, how do I do that? That's okay. We're going to be breaking this down. This is going to be, I'm going to try to come and do, well, I'm not going to say I'm going to try. I'm going to say I am. Because I am that I am. That I am, that I am, that I am. But I'll be coming and really breaking these concepts down for you guys in the next month or so, and just really going deep, because this has been something that I feel like has been on my journey all year, and it's been kind of like, that's why I haven't been really stuck to really being disciplined on doing the things that's within my business, because it's like certain things I just wasn't aligning with, and I just knew that I was bigger than that. But sometimes it takes us to attain these superficial things to realize, like, okay, now I have that, and this is kind of really not all I thought it was piped up to be, or this is not really what I thought I wanted. My mouth's dry, y'all. Hold on. So, the next concept that I got is, oh, we said this one already. Don't engage, observe. Sometimes you will have to ignore your inner voice. And this is really important, because it's just like when you have haters, when you have people that are speaking down on your name, you have people doing negative things towards you. Maybe they, you know what I'm saying? Just people coming against you in any type of way. Spirit wants you to ignore those type of things. Where energy, where attention goes, energy flows. And realizing that too, realize that we created everything, you know? And it's like these thoughts are coming from somewhere. Break it down. And if you can't break it down, if it's too much to observe it, if it's too painful to break it down in that moment, just ignore it and separate yourself from it. Realize that you are separate. You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. Realize that you're separate. And try to bring a more playful approach, okay? Being playful, you can truly live. But when you're overthinking and you're constantly thinking about things, you're trying to figure things out in your head, and you're not really living. You're not, because you're not in tune with this present moment. You're not in tune with reality. And that, again, what I was talking about with the being too goal-oriented. There's nothing wrong with having these goals and things like that. But ultimately, it's like, are you happy? Are you enjoying life? And are you your definition of happy? Or are you striving to chase a definition that's been fed to you through the program? So even when you do get this goal, or even if you have it already, you don't even realize it because you're just chasing, okay? Step back and take that playful approach towards things. Now, the critical thinking, now this is like what it's like, because for me, it's like I'm a thinker, right? And I'm very analytical. And to just say to don't engage, to observe, it's very hard for somebody like me, where my mind, it wants to engage and wants to, like, I'm just very, let's exercise that thought. You know what I mean? And for those that are like that, I want you to question and use critical thinking. When it comes to thoughts and things, negative belief systems, even if you're not identifying it like that, that is what it is. Anytime first of all, you are a limitless being, okay? You can have whatever you want. You can create the life that you want. The only thing that's blocking you from that is you. And that is the first realization that you have to realize. If it is here, if it exists, you can have it, okay? That's the first thing. Now, a lot of people, even with me just saying that, a lot of people don't believe that. It sounds good. It makes sense for a second, but then when people try to go to manifest, it's a constant blockage there. It's a constant thought that may keep popping up. It's something that keeps lingering in their mind that is blocking them from the manifestation. Even as people will say affirmations and things like that, they won't feel it. They would just be saying it from their mind, but in the back of their head, they know like they're not feeling it. They know they have some type of weird. I'm not gonna say weird, but this is how I speak about myself. So, I'm not saying it like that, but they will have some type of perception of themselves that will be like, oh no, not me though. I need to, or either like like, oh no, I can't do that because of this or this and that and the third, and really it's just like all of that is bullshit. It's a whole bunch of BS, and it's like you can have anything you want, but it's not about having anything you want. You know what I mean? Like it's not that you can't have those things, but that's not what it's about. That's not what the happiness is truly about, because you'll have everything that you want, but then you'll still crave the happiness, the longing for that. So what is it? What is it? Like, number one, if you don't get anything else from this video, I want you to truly define your happiness. Have you written that down? Like, what does that look like to you? What does happiness look like to you? If you draw a blank of that, if you're not really sure, if you don't know, that is what you need to identify first. What is true happiness? And as you identify what's true happiness, for me, I would say true happiness is having a abundant mindset, being wellness. And I believe that everything that happens on the spiritual will definitely happen on the physical. I trust in my spirit team. Everything is divine. If you believe that we are reincarnated, we came in this life, we chose this life. We signed soul contracts. Yes. Peace of mind. This girl said true happiness for her. What I do? True happiness for me is a peace of mind. Now, oh, no. I almost injured it. Hold on. I gotta learn how to work the thing. But yeah, so you said true happiness for me is a peace of mind, right? That is happiness. That is happiness. And it is not that, like a lot of people, like a lot of my clients that I talk to, when they tell me about what their true happiness is, I get a lot of ego-based answers, superficial answers. When you break down to the core, you know what I'm saying? Break it down to the core. Like, what's your answer? A peace of mind. We can have a peace of mind right now. So if for somebody that has that same happiness goal, but they're not happy, why are you not happy? Number one, you could be not happy because you really couldn't identify it. You couldn't tell that that was all I really needed. You thought you was buying into an illusion that you needed these other things, and then maybe you got those and you realized that wasn't what it was about. Or maybe you gave up trying because you realized that as you was gaining things, it was like, these superficial things are not giving me the substance that I need. Because we truly came here to connect. So, number one, definitely having a peace of mind is definitely a form of true happiness. Because most people are living in their mind and not in their reality. And that is breaking free of your insecurities. Breaking free of that mind is very vital and very important to your wellness. Okay? Ooh, that word was good. Now my next sticky note is don't take life too serious. A lot of times too, like what I find is that, especially with myself, like I could be taking my circumstances and the things that what happens to me in my life very serious, and it's just like when you drop the seriousness of things, because it's like, how serious is it? If we never fail, if we never make mistakes, if we never, had letdowns or let ourselves down, how will we know that this is something I didn't like? So I really like to gain that concept of treating life like a magazine or something where you just use your mind and your emotions as indicators, but you don't attach yourself to them, if that makes sense. You use your mind and your dang, what just took over my mind? You use your mind and your emotions as indicators, okay? But you don't use them as they're not the dictators. This is not a dictatorship. That is a big thing. The emotions and your mind are not your dictators. What are you feeling? What is your spirit telling you? And that's another thing too. Like I always tell people, if I don't feel it, I'm not doing it. And that is not me saying like I'm feeling it through my emotions. No. Like people get that confused as well. It's like I'm not talking about feeling things through my emotions. I'm talking about in my spirit. Do I feel whole doing that, or do I feel whole doing this? And sometimes when it's with our spirit, most times it's not something that can be explained. It's not something that can really be put into words. It's undescribable, because if I was to put it into words, that would just be my perception of it. Your perception could be totally different. So understand that, number one, too. Like, it's nothing I can really put into words. It's all about how you define it for yourself. Also, too, I will be dropping some inner child work, because connecting with that inner child is very important to get this, to understand this concept of happiness, to really gain it. When you can connect with your inner child, any inner child wounds that you may have from your childhood programming, it can't really affect you because you're showing up for yourself there. So it doesn't affect you no more, okay? But we're going to go deeper on that when I do the inner child healing video. But yeah, so not taking life too seriously is number one. And I probably done said something else is number one, but that is very important. Like, don't take life so serious. We agreed to this. We signed up for this. I believe we signed soul contracts. And I'm really grateful, expressing gratitude and understanding duality, that everything, and polarity, that everything has a positive, everything has a negative. So even if I'm looking at something negative in my life, I always reframe it. I reframe it. And I express gratitude, number one, and thank Spirit for allowing me to understand and see where, thank you for the like, I appreciate it. And I thank Spirit for allowing me to have the indicator, because what is my indicator? My emotions, my mind. What am I thinking in certain moments? What triggers me? What angers me? Okay, especially when we look at those things, we start to realize too, like, how not perfect we think. Like, we think, a lot of times we think we're perfect. When we're in our minds and we're operating and thinking through our minds and we're constantly analyzing everything, we think that we're perfect, or we've come to some type of whatever, we just think, oh, we got it all together. When in actuality, when we get into the present moment, we get out of our minds, we get out of our heads, our thoughts. In the present moment, we realize that everybody's just doing the best that they can do. We're all faced with a lot of different battles. Nobody's better than anybody. The divide is an illusion. We're not really divided. We're one. We're connected. And when we start to really tap into that and understand that we're one, we're connected. And what I like to do is, whenever I feel any type of irritation or any type of emotion or mental thoughts that are not really serving to who my spirit is, my highest self, I think, like, what if it was me? What if it was me in this position of need or lack? How would I want to be treated? And I act on that in that way. realizing that when things come into our life that are triggering, that don't work well with our spirit, or just that irritate us, however, these are the teachable moments. These are the moments when your life is about to shift, when you're about to grow. If you choose to see past your mind and your emotions, you really have to understand that these are your indicators. They are not your guiding force. Your emotions and your mind are your indicators, not your guiding force. If you are being ruled by your emotions, being reactive, you think something, you say it without thinking, it's just really like the real illusion, like being so real that it's fake. Being real isn't it fake. Okay, like a lot of the judgments that you pass, you should pass them back on yourself. And you should ask yourself, like, say if I know for me sometimes I would struggle with always being the one helping. And Spirit was just like, why is that an issue? Why is that a problem? You're blessed to be able to help. And what does that mean if you're helping? That means you're good. That means you're taken care of. That you're in a position to help. That's something to be grateful for. And it's like so often we get caught up in the matrix. We get caught up in the scene, and this freedom thing. But freedom can be lost in the mind. Real freedom is being able to be detached from that mind and be detached from that emotions. Because even if you start, like we said, observing our thoughts, this is a daily thing. Like it's not that, oh, now I don't have negative thoughts and I don't look at myself like this anymore, and that's not what it is about. It's about, yes, those thoughts still do arise, but do they affect me? No. Do they stop me? No. Do they hinder me? No. And I like to really kind of full on address them, like, and understand them, and not judge them, and realize there's no wrong answer. And that is what we have to do with ourselves, because a lot of the things that surface in our mind are childhood wounds, things that was taught to us, or things that we saw. And it's like two kids could be raised in the same home, but because their perception is different, they become two different individuals, because they are on two different paths. And that's why I said as well, this is not for everybody. Everybody's path is different. But if you can understand and get past that mind and get past those emotions, then now you're in the creating zone. You're creating now. Now it's not about, can I manifest this $10,000? Can I manifest this $50,000? It's about, can I sustain looking at my thoughts, looking at my emotions from an outside perspective, and realizing that is not me. Even just, I like to, throughout my day, I listen to like a lot of audiobooks, and I like to close my eyes, because even just having our eyes open, we can just naturally start to judge things, start to put different perceptions. Sometimes we need to just be. What am I feeling? Connecting with your spirit. That's why it's good to pray and to fast. As you fast, you connect deeper with your spirit, man, because you're literally not feeding your flesh, your body, the body that you're incarnated in. Also, it's not that it's a small thing, but it is a small issue that you may be worried about, if that makes sense. So the thoughts that come up, the worries, it's not that they're small. They're not small because they're big to you. You need to validate yourself, number one, but realize that it's a small issue. It's not a small thing, it's a small issue. And a lot of those small issues that even may be recurring are coming from a bigger issue. Okay, so really tapping into it and unpacking what is that under, like, why does this thought, because most of the times the limited thoughts, limited beliefs that we have are the same resurfacing, reoccurring thoughts. And Spirit is like, okay, are you going to let that limit your life, or are you going to create a new one? But within creating, like I said with my story about how I had my trip and I just had to go, it comes a trust factor, okay? And it's not something that should be rushed. It's not something that should be like extreme. It comes in a step-by-step process, being easy with yourself, working on yourself. And I believe that really it starts with self-love. And building that self-love, building that worthiness, honoring yourself. When you start to love yourself a little bit deeper, you're honoring yourself a little bit deeper, and practicing that law of assumption, you will start to realize, like, number one, that's why I said, what is your happiness? What is happiness for me? What makes me happy? What puts me in a happiness vibration? Because we're frequencies. What puts me in that frequency? And then what also puts me in this lower frequency? Now let me use my indicators to see, okay, well, I'm not going to do that anymore because that's not serving my frequency. That's making me angrier. That's making me, that indicator is doing this. And that is another thing too, like, well, let me finish that statement before I say that, but that is an indicator that, okay, this is not serving me. When you're around a person and you feel weird energy, or feel like things are not, like, what is this? Like, something is not adding up. That is an indicator. And a lot of times I feel like a lot of people, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but some people through spirituality can ignore their indicators by trying to force happiness or force this peace and force this joy. It's not about forcing anything. It's about allowing. Because everything else really has been force-fed to you. The program, what you've been constantly telling yourself over and over again. And that was what was told to you that made you develop it. That is why we have to tap into, like, my note, one of my notes was saying that, tapping into that childlike energy. Realizing that, stop taking life so serious, okay? Some of my other ones before I wrap it up, because the video is getting super long, but start by honoring your future self. Who is your future self? How do you connect with that? Like I was saying, finding out what it is that makes you happy. And let that be the goal. Break it down from any superficial aspects. Remove any superficial aspects, as in a home, money, car, clothes. Break it down to, okay, what do you want? Financial freedom. Okay, what would you like here? A peace of mind, like y'all said. Okay, well, how do I attain these things? These spiritual things, a peace of mind, financial freedom. Getting out of your thoughts, these thought processes, the old thought processes, these negative beliefs, these negative self-beliefs, this negative self-talk. Unprogramming that and reprogramming yourself into law of assumption, reprogramming yourself into your highest self. Perfect is an illusion, so you're not trying to be perfect, right? Because what is perfect? Maybe you're trying to be the best you, but not perfect. Perfect is an illusion. Also, too, something that being comfortable, like, being comfortable is an illusion, because we didn't come here to be comfortable. We came here to grow. We came here to learn. We came here to evolve. We're having a spiritual experience. As we go through this spiritual experience, we experience pain. We experience these things, but it's like, that is our perception. What is this really teaching me? As you go through things, what is it really teaching me? What is this teaching me? Kill the ego aspect. The ego says, "Oh well, I'm good already. I don't need. I'm not doing that. No. What is this teaching me? Because everything we've attracted everything, and that's the honest truth of it. We've attracted everything. So okay, well, why did I attract this? Why is this something that I attracted? And when you use those indicators of your emotions get triggered, your thoughts are not serving you. That's another thing too. I tell my clients, it's like, it's not about you beating yourself down either, because you have to really be easy on yourself. You have to love on yourself. You have to give the energy that you give to others so freely to yourself. You have to be selfish. Like, and selfish in a way of not ego-based selfish, but selfish in a way of honoring yourself. Do you love yourself? Do you combat that self-talk? Like, I like to, I've named my negative self-talk, that negative program within myself, because too, remember that I said in the beginning, we are limitless. We're limitless beings. So I literally detach myself from that old paradigm self. And I want y'all to go with me when I say these things, okay? So I detach myself from who I used to be. But instantaneously in this moment. And look at that version of myself in that moment, because all we really have is this present moment, right? And as I do that, I don't judge. I don't criticize myself. I look at it and I look for the child in that behavior. If it's like you have like you may be thinking negative about somebody else or judging somebody else's circumstance, and it's just like, when you pull yourself out of that and you look at that behavior, it's like, that's not serving me. That's not on the frequency level that I'm trying to be on. Do you judge it? No. You don't judge it, because that's just what you've known. That's just what has been your consciousness. But as we are elevating, and as we level our consciousness and we level our awareness, after we become aware, now it is our charge to do. So just like me, with all this year learning all these lessons, it's like, I didn't learn all these lessons to keep it to myself. I learned these things to share with you so you can better your life. So you can understand that you don't have to, you don't have to really try to control your existence, but more so allow the things that you want and the things that you need and want to come to you without any effort, without really having to do anything. And when I say that, I mean as the masculine society would want us to think that we have to work hard, when it's really ultimately a balance. And staying in the present moment can help you to know when to take an inspired action, or to know when to, okay, this is my time to receive. But it really takes killing that ego, breaking that ego self down, and understanding and being able to separate yourself. Oh, I bit my tongue. Being able to separate yourself from your thoughts. What was my first note? Because I want to read that one again to y'all. Yeah, can you leave the content of the mind behind? If you notice, even as you listen to me, your mind may be saying things. But if you can still hear me, that means your spirit is focusing. If you can't hear me and your mind is talking too much, that means the program is too strong. That means it may take you to take time to really just like, okay, well, what is that? If you can't ignore it, you need to, I believe in facing it head on. Why not? It's yourself. Everybody want to face everybody else, but we're in control. You attracted it. You attracted it. So you have to ask yourself, why is this something I'm thinking? Why is this my thought? Why is this coming up? Like, who's saying that? Because that's not, I don't believe that about myself. And reaffirming yourself and allowing yourself and loving on yourself in those moments. Because most of our insecurities are seeking validation from things we didn't get as a child. And a lot of people, like, I have so many clients that beg to differ on that aspect. And then when we start to break down, like, whatever the issue is that's lingering with them, they see, like, okay, yeah, this is something that I've been doing my whole life. This is definitely an inner child wound, an inner child program. Can you leave the content of your mind behind? And do not associate yourself with your thoughts. And like another thing too is to practice is not passing judgment. Because just like I said, what is this existence? What is this existence? This existence isn't anything that we can speak into words because that would be my perception. So yeah, y'all, I'm about to head out. But I really just wanted to give this to y'all. I will be doing more lives like this, but the next one I will be stepping into is really gearing you in that direction. How can I go more into the direction of letting my spirit lead my mind and my mind lead my body after it's already being led by my spirit? That is the true flow of how things can really work and how you can bring in the life that you like, that you really want, that you really are trying to. But the trick is that a lot of people don't want to hear it, but the trick is that you have to work on yourself. You have to kill that ego. Sometimes you have to bite the bullet and realize, like, I attracted these things. Why are these things surfacing in my vortex? Why are they coming in my vortex? Why do I keep attracting the same type of person? Why does this person keep coming up in my existence but in different body forms? It's calling for some type of growth from you. It's calling for something. Something is trying to be revealed to you. Look at it as, I like to think of it as a game. And I look at it like, if I was in a video game and I had to sign a contract and I would agree to not know what my mission was in this video game, but I would do little things to try to trigger myself to wake up, to understand what's really going on. Think of it like that. When things are tough, when you're being tested, when it seems like you're just not happy, lack motivation, you're miserable, the suffering has become too much, I ask that you go within. If you have trouble doing that, you can book me. I can help you. I can walk you through it. We can take time. We can do sessions. Also, too, do not discredit the path. Your crystals, your incense, your candles. These are tools that we can use to bring us here. But I'm asking for you guys to really understand, too, that these are just tools. That the real work has to happen within. If you're only able to manifest a certain amount, or you feel stagnant, or you feel like you're just stuck, Spirit is calling for you to grow. You feeling these things, you're feeling this uncomfortability because you're being pushed into your next scene. Look at your life as a movie scene. Are you going to make this the best act yet, or what? Are you going to make this the best scene, or what? It's trying to push you into your growth. What am I learning? What can I learn from this? What is this teaching me? What is this pushing me towards? Where is this growing me to? Where am I about to elevate? Spirit, how good is it about to get? All right, you guys. That is all I have for you in this video. I probably will be dropping a new video right after this one. It won't be. I'm not gonna say probably. I will be. And it won't be long. Okay. Also, too, I want you guys to think about that critical thinking. Okay. Think about critical thinking. If this video was kind of too much, all I want you to do is think about how you critically think in your life. And I want you to really just sit with yourself, like, take a day from your routine and just be still. Notice the things that arise, like you feel like you have to do something or you feel like you have to do this. Don't do it. Analyze the behavior. Analyze the thoughts that you may have about yourself. And really just kind of take a judgment call on, is this serving me? Write those thoughts down. And see, like, is this something I would want my child to say to themselves? Is this something I would tell somebody else to say to themselves? Because if it's not, it's like, well, how can that be? If you wouldn't say this to a stranger, if you wouldn't say this to your child, if you wouldn't, why are you saying it to yourself? Ultimately, I want you guys to realize that the negative self-talk, the thought process, the limited thought processes, the limited beliefs that we have can bind us to our circumstances, to our paradigms, to our timelines. And I'm about to help you guys break free of those things. That's what I came here for. This is my mission in this life. I don't know exactly how things will play out. I don't know, but Spirit is just really super calling me, and I have to give this to you. I have to give it to you. Because then on my end, it's wrong. How can you have this knowledge? How can you have learned these things and been through these things and it's not giving? It's not helping others. Realizing too, like, anytime somebody irritates you as well or triggers you, help them. Help them. Become of service. Because they're you. We're all connected. They're a reflection of you. Okay, I'm going to leave the video right there because it's getting super, super long. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Seriously, I love y'all so much. I will be doing, well, I'm going to announce that in the next video. All right, I love y'all. Peace.